You're now listening to the Key Witness Media Podcast with Kurt Maggs. Kurt Maggs Radio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Kurt Maggs Radio Show. Also, the host of a Key Witness Media Podcast. How everybody doing today? We are back. Last week was no show. Sorry about that. Just couldn't really get nothing together that I wanted, that I found interesting as far as topics and situations that were going on. So I apologize for that. But we are back together with you this week. All the ones who sent me emails complaining of where was the show, I am here this week, so let's get it on. I told you I'll be back this week. We're not doing no 3 or 4 shows we missing and we not coming through. First, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. My numbers are going up greatly. I was totally shocked when I started looking at my analytics and how many people are listening to the show and how many people are enjoying the show. And I thank you and appreciate you for all the ones who have listened. Hopefully that you're getting something from the shows. And I try to limit how much I talk on these shows because I know that I don't have a big audience. I'm not popping like that. So, hey, I'm not going to sit there and bore you. I want to try to get you sit down and listen to a half hour, an hour. Hopefully one day I can get to that point that I'm interesting enough that and I can give you enough content that you can sit back and give you something to think about, something that you can add to it, something that you can reflect about. But let's go ahead and first I want to say last Monday we had my mother's 70th birthday party. And I would like to, yes, she's 70 years old. Unbelievable and amazing. A lot of times you don't know how long you'll be in the fight. You know, we don't have an expiration date that's put on us when we first get here on earth. But God knows why you're here, what your intentions that he has for you to do, the work that you have to do down here on earth. And once that mission is completed, I believe that's when God says, hey, it's time to come home. Well done, my good and faithful servant. And appreciate what you've done. The lives that you could change just with your life. And I've seen that through my mother, through her, the years that I've been on earth. She has done a great job, and she does all she can, and she deserved that 70th birthday party. Yes. It was a surprise party for her. And first I want to say thanks to the ones who put all of it together and orchestrated it together, because without them it couldn't have been a success. And when there's a surprise party, you're not supposed to let the person know that it's their birthday. Sometimes people slip up and they'll tell. But this one was a total success. And I appreciate everybody's efforts of keeping it closed and making sure that she doesn't know anything about it, or even give her an inkling that something was going on. But I would like to first thank my sister Candace, my Aunt Joyce, for putting it all together and making sure all the buttons are buttoned and I's are dotted and T's was crossed, because they were able to put together and get people to attend that she would have wanted to be there. Next, I would like to thank Sister Sarah and Sister Perry, because these are the two that drove her to the location where we were having the party. Without these two, it could have never been actually possible, because they would have to have some type of game plan to help throw everything off, where she would have never figured out where the location was going to be. And this location that was chosen was Golden Corral. They did a great job. Had a separate room from everybody. And granted, I'm not a big Golden Corral fan. I used to be back in the day. We're talking probably over 10 years ago. But I had went on a health kick for some years. And when I went back to eat that food again, I just couldn't get with it. No knock on people who actually eat it and enjoy it. But I'll tell you, it's not the most healthiest food. You will put on weight. And the way I eat and the way I think, I want to sample everything. I want to sample everything, and that's not good because you'll probably end up eating 10,000 calories before you leave out of there. And Lord knows at my age, I can't accept that. Can't do it. I can't do it. So, hey. But I just want to thank everybody who all attended the party. It was a major success. You had all of me, of course, grandkids, nephews, nieces, everybody who was able to attend was there. People from the church family showed up. And, man, I was just honored to have been there and see the look in my mother's eyes as she walked in and seen all of us sitting there. The cake was beautiful. Sister Marilyn, my sister's friend and someone I've been knowing for a long time, helped put the cake together and made sure she got it. My mother wanted a specific cake, and I think she figured that all it was going to be was about her having a cake and just having some ice cream and just a couple of family, getting together and eating this food together. But we was able to pull off the whole party. I gave her no indication. I didn't tell my son anything because he would tell. Now let's get it right. He would have told on purpose now. It would have been something like, hey, I need you to get off that game. Okay, is your party today? Is the party today? Your surprise party? So it would have been just intentionally, but it would just been like a slip of the mind or not really thinking about what you're supposed to keep it a secret. But, man, everything came out okay. And we all had a good time, and I just appreciate everybody. I'm not just going to keep going on about the party. But last week I was remembering a couple of things and watching the news and reflecting back on some things that I remember back in the past. And the older you get, you start learning. That's if wisdom kicks in. I think I can recall a time where a brother was having a hard time in his marriage. So he's telling the brother, man, you know what, I'm having some difficulties and I really do need some help. I need some prayer and stuff. And the guy he's talking to and he's telling this to, the first thing he says is, man, I'm glad I didn't get no wife like that, man. I'm like, I know you just didn't say that. I know you just didn't say that. And I'm going to tell you, just because people are older doesn't mean that they have wisdom or they have anything to pass along to you that could help you. A lot of times we can give advice to people because we've lived it, we've dealt with it, or know someone close enough to us to have felt that emotion or that pain or the sadness or the stress of that situation. And you can, once they get through it, you can tell somebody else, hey, this is what they had to do. But sometimes it's going to take a lot of work. And that's that work that you're going to have to do on both sides when you're dealing with a relationship. And a man and a woman, you got to work through that. And I was totally offended when the brother said that. I'm not going to lie. And there's been other situations where someone was giving some advice. I remember one time me and my cousin was taking someone for a ride home. And there was a girl, and he said, hey, man, could you get this girl a ride home? She needs a home. She lives far out. And the ride that was supposed to come pick her up, they didn't show up. So I'm like, okay, I don't mind helping out. She seemed to be pretty cool. I didn't know her personally like that. So I said she seemed to be pretty cool from the little bit of time of mingling around that I've seen her. So she's in the back seat and he's in the front seat. We're taking her home. And she's telling me about the situation about another friend of theirs who was dealing with drugs. And she was saying, man, that girl needs to get off drugs. She needs to get her life together. She's too smart. She's too bright. She's very, smart, and she should be in college somewhere and, doing great things and mighty things. But she needs to leave those drugs alone. So I'm like, wow, you know what? I said, this girl got a lot of, there's some very positive things. And she wants to, be able to help change this person and make her become a better person. She sees the potential in her. And the whole time where she's talking, my cousin's laughing. And I'm driving, I'm kept glancing over at him, and he's got a big smile looking out the window, and he's got this low, very low laugh, like, and he's shaking his head the whole time while she's talking. And I'm like, this is a very serious conversation, man. Thinking to myself, why are you laughing? So I kept looking at him, but he never would look straight at me because he knew I'm like, what is so funny, dude? It's a serious conversation. She's trying to help somebody that's got a drug problem, and she sees the potential in him. So she gets out the car and she thanks us and saying everybody take care, have a good night and all that. So I'm like, okay, I said, you too. And I was like, you're a very positive person, and I hope that you can reach that, the other girl and talk to her and help her get out of her situation. So as soon as she closes the door and walks off and she goes inside the house, I did make sure I didn't just pull off. And I'm going to tell you that neighborhood looked very suspect. I don't know. But I looked at him, I'm like, hey man, I was like, the whole time we was talking, I said, one thing, you never said anything, and you knew both girls well. You grew up with them. And I said, and you were smiling and laughing the whole time. I was like, what was so funny? He said, man, she's on drugs too. And I said, wow. I said, are you sure? He was like, yeah, the girl that sells the drugs, they're both buying the drugs from the same dealer. And I said, oh my God. I said, man, she was really talking to herself. And he said, man, the same bright future that the other girl has, she has. But she can't stop taking drugs. And I started being puzzled by that, man. I was really kind of stunned and hoping that he was saying, hey, man, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, he said, no, man, she's on drugs too. And she said, as a matter of fact, I think she's the one who introduced her to the drugs. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, she's putting on an act as though she's okay and making it seem as though the other girl is in a bad position when both have the same problem and both should be getting the same help and getting their lives together. A lot of times people are talking to you and they're telling you what's going on. They're not telling on themselves. They're talking about somebody else, but they really telling on themselves. I always tell people, pay attention. A lot of times people will tell on themselves. It could be something as simple as you got a girlfriend and she makes a comment of how sometimes, man, I wonder what it feel like not to be in a relationship anymore. Oh man, that girl always with some other guy. Why is she cheating? I know her boyfriend, she cheating on him. Vice versa. And a lot of times they telling on themselves. Peace and God bless.
You're now listening to the Key Witness Media Podcast with Kurt Maggs. Kurt Maggs Radio.